You mentioned like standing out, like, you know, pit photography or like under the stage and stuff like that. And I think one of the advantages of DIY is that it is very common for photographers to be all up in a band's shit. Like on stage with them. Like that is such a normal thing that like I weave in and out of band members and crowd all the time. And actually shots with and in crowd are some of my favorite as well, because I feel like you really get an idea of what it feels like to be in that show. And so I will never forget, I have to tell this story. So I was on tour with Moru, and we were at our show in Chattanooga, and there was this guy who was probably like 3 times my size. I mean, he was just really tall. Really, and he was crowd killing like the entire time. He was like really throwing some heavy punches. And I was shooting photo and video for the band that we were touring with, Catabasis. And at one point I had like gotten into my camera and was about to shoot. And the bassist of the band grabbed me by the scruff of my neck and yanked me back and was like, "You are going to get fucking killed." And like the moment that he had grabbed me, literally a fish just went right in front of my face.
Wow.
And I was just like, he was like, "You're going to get killed." And I was like, "I'm sorry." He was like, "Get out of the fucking pit." And I was like, "I can't. There's so much energy here. I have to capture this."
Oh yeah.
But it's super funny because like, I mean, that happens a lot. And like, I work a lot in like the hardcore scene. I just love the energy of those shows. But you have to be so careful when you're working in a pit, because there are people who just like don't care. And like they'll crowd kill photographers, no sweat. And I like, sometimes at those shows I have this zoom lens that I'll shoot, but it is probably like 10 pounds. And I have dome cracked a couple people like who came at me, because I'll tell people like, if I see them coming, I'll look at them and be like, And if they like get that look in their eyes and they like come at me anyways, I will whap them, because it's not going to hurt my camera, but it's going to hurt you. Like,
definitely. That's what I
crack you. I used to be one of those kids in the pit back in the day. Like I'm not afraid of it. I'm not, because I've walked away with more black eyes and bloody noses than I can possibly imagine, So like, I'm not afraid of it, but I love the chaos. Like I remember this one show, we were at this place called Insanity Skate Shop in Alabama. And it was a pretty big crowd. And I mean, oh my gosh, it was like crazy. And I was like right in the middle of it and getting video, because it's just like, it's chaos. And like that, that's what you want to see in your photos and videos when you're at a place like that. That really captures like the energy. So, it's cool being able to shoot from those angles. But I tell you what, like, it's hard. But thankfully, I mean, the bands that I tour with are really good to me. I actually broke 4 ribs on that tour. It was a total accident. But the next night we still had a show, and I was like green in the face I was just trying to be there and trying to shoot. And I remember there was this one kid who was like really drunk, and like I knew him because we were in a town that I lived in for a little while. And I told him, I was like, "Don't come swinging at me, because I literally have broken ribs." And he was just like really drunk and like kept coming at me. And like, I remember at one point he was like bulldozing, and there were some guys from the band that I was touring with who were kind of standing around me, and they saw him coming, and I have never felt more protected in my life. I feel like these 3 dudes who literally go and like shove this dude across the room, or like screaming at him in the middle of the set while I'm just standing there like.
Click subscribe and turn on notifications to see more clips from this interview and to catch future live interviews, and become a patron to see this interview uncut, which is the only place you can see it, and my future live interviews in their entirety after the broadcast.